guys. In today's video, I'm going to walk through the 10 intangible skills that not only helped me land a $300,000 job in my 20s, but has also, more importantly, helped our students, and at this point there's over 600 of them just from the last couple of years, the skills that have helped them both get interviews, crush interviews, and then land high-paying job offers with companies that they really admire. And yes, even in a time like this, these are the most important things that recruiters are, secretly screening for in every conversation that you have. So first and foremost, as we dive into this, I just want to share with you, this works if you were just laid off. This works if you are getting your first, entry-level role. This is important if you are getting your first senior role. This is important if you are landing your first, VP role or $300,000 plus role. All of these things are exponentially more important than just your actual hard skills of doing the job. Because here's the thing, the talent pool that is on the market right now, there are a ton of people that just have the hard skills. Just by virtue of where we're at right now, you are competing against people that have probably better skills than you do in your job. So if you can really hone in these 10 intangible skills, you will stand out from everybody else on the market right now, and you will be able to negotiate higher salaries. So with that, one thing that I do want to emphasize here is that you cannot just tell somebody that you have these skills. What we spend a lot of time prepping our students on is making sure that they have stories that demonstrate that they have each of these intangible skills. And usually we can, in one story, in each story that we share with somebody, we follow the STAR format when we're prepping. Usually you can cover most, if not all of these, in each and every story that you share. So if you stay till the end, I will give you an actual example of an interview response that we prepped somebody through, the question and how they demonstrated all 10 of these in one short, concise story. So let's dive in. The 10 skills that every recruiter hiring manager is secretly screening for when you're going into a high-paying tech job. Number one, are you able to adapt? Are you flexible and can you adapt? What is your adaptability like? Are you able to adjust to changing circumstances and operate without super clean, clear-cut rules all the time? Number two, emotional intelligence. Do you know how your emotions skew or shape your perspective, as well as the emotions of others? Do you have high levels of empathy? Number three, your problem-solving skills. This is going to be your ability to take really complex problems, analyze them, and present solutions instead of just coming to your boss and saying, hey, we have problem 1, 2, 3. It's, hey, we've got problem 1, 2, 3. I'm thinking solution 1, 2, 3 is going to be really helpful for us right now. So being adaptable, having emotional intelligence, being able to problem solve, and then being able to communicate these things, that is so, so important. And that's an especially important one where you can't tell somebody, hey, I've got great communication skills. That means nothing. As a matter of fact, that means you likely don't have great communication skills if you have to say it. Instead, you've got to demonstrate it. So that's number four. Number five, your ability to create and innovate. Again, this ties in quite a bit with the problem solving. They're very often, when you go into a higher paying role, you are not going to have somebody who is always trailblazed, every problem that you're going to come across. You are going to have to be creative, especially right now, as people are becoming leaner, companies are getting leaner. You have to be able to be creative and, be resourceful with what you do have. Number six is going to be your leadership potential, your ability to not only take initiative, but lead others by serving them, leading by example. Very, very important right now is that servant leadership. Number seven, going right into that, is your teamwork and collaboration skills, your ability to work effectively with other people moving towards a common goal. Number eight is your resiliency, the ability, and I've got a list over here I'm cheating from, the ability for you to bounce back from setbacks and not let it completely derail you when you have a setback, because it's not if you will fail, it's not if you will have a setback, it is when. You will absolutely have failure if you are doing anything meaningful. It is just part of being successful. So making sure that you can persevere in the face of failure, very important thing to be able to demonstrate. And learning from those mistakes, also very important. It's a bonus there. Then number nine is going to be your time management skills, especially as you go higher and higher up. You are going to be needed and pulled by more and more people. So your ability to organize and manage your time and your priorities. Oftentimes this requires letting some urgent things burn while you focus on the most important things. So being able to prioritize tasks and manage not only your workload, but your team's workload effectively. And then the last one, attention to detail. Your ability to pay close attention to detail while also being able to zoom out and keep the big picture in mind. So those are those 10 skills. Now, even again, I can't emphasize this enough. Just saying you have any of these skills is usually actually going to have a negative effect on your interview or somebody's perception of you. It will often come across as not confident or lying or bragging about yourself. If you just say to somebody, oh, I'm a great leader, I can communicate really effectively with people, I'm a great problem solver. If you say all those things or you've heard somebody say those things, it's like, are you? Okay, like cool, prove it. So here is a response that shows almost all 10 of these intangible skills in just one story to demonstrate to the recruiter, demonstrate to, actually this was a hiring manager, that they have these skills and they can do the job. So an example of how this would play out, the interviewer asked some very basic question, tell me about a time when you worked on a complex project from a demanding client that involved needing multiple deliverables to be met in a short amount of time and how you handled it. So especially if you are a project program, product manager, this is a really common question to get. So because you know the intangible skills that you need to demonstrate, and then you are prepping these. And again, we use the STAR method, which is you talk about a situation, the tasks at hand, the action that you took, and then the quantifiable results from that. When you are able to filter all of those intangible soft skills through that filter and have quantifiable wins, it's going to sound like this. So this person responded by saying, great question. This sounds really similar to a project that I worked on in my last company. One of our clients that we recently signed on had no prior history with us and asked us to deliver several large-scale app development requests that needed to be delivered in less than 4 weeks. So this particular client had 3 distinct deliverables, which they had already committed to their own customers. Knowing that this was due in a short amount of time, I scheduled an all-hands-on-deck meeting with cross-functional teams and outlined the importance of this project and the future business it could potentially bring us. After getting buy-in from each team, I gathered thorough requirements from the client and created clear and concise specs for each of the teams involved on this project. Not only were we able to deliver all 3 projects on time, but we delivered them 2 days before the product release, giving them enough time to review the work and make some minor changes. The success of this project ultimately led to our client viewing us as a trusted partner rather than just a vendor, and it resulted in over $750,000 in additional project. So that is a great example, and sometimes people hear that and they get overwhelmed at first. It does not have to be overwhelming. This is something that it takes multiple reps, multiple practice reps with, working hands-on with our coaches to get there. So if this is something that you're struggling with, you're going through and you're either not landing interviews or you're landing interviews, but you're not getting multiple offers from those interviews, this is likely where you need to focus your efforts. We've got a ton of free resources. We even have a comprehensive interview playbook where it goes through and breaks down that exact response. I will put the link to our free library. We've got a free community with free coaching calls, a free library. I'll put the link below. So if you do want added help, you can just hop right there and check it out. But this is something I can't emphasize enough. I see a lot of people struggling right now, a lot of people worried about, making sure that they're able to land that job. And they're showing up to these interviews really nervous, really anxious. This is something, none of these skills take any money for you to learn. Most of the time, they don't even take a ton of time for you to think back and, think of times where you've had to, demonstrate these skills. You've had to have these skills to get a thing done. And so it's a really quick way for you to prep efficiently and effectively to move yourself along. So if you guys need anything, let me know, and I hope you're having a good one. Talk soon.